best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast. Hey folks, welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast. It's your host Kyle over here, your one-stop shop for all your WWE, AEW, and NXT pay-per-view predictions, show recaps, reviews. I don't know, man. I'm botching the hell out of this. It's Kyle here. Got Rob with me. What's going on, Rob?
What is going on, man?
Nothing.
I want to tell the wrestling world I got a new kitty cat.
You
Out
did?
of nowhere. I was getting ready to watch SmackDown Friday, and my wife is allergic to animals. I absolutely love animals. And Friday, just before SmackDown, she's like, "You want to adopt a cat?" And here I am thinking maybe a phone app or something and joking around. I was like, "Get it tonight." And a half hour later, somebody was dropping off a cat at my doorstep.
And
okay, let's do this.
And what would Pokemon Rob name his new cat?
My new cat's name is Meowth.
Hell yeah, man.
I could not name it Meowth. And the girl who dropped it off, I work with her, and she listens to all my Pokemon shenanigans. She's like, "You're naming this cat Meowth, aren't you?" I'm like, I was on the fence, but because you said that, yes. I can't not name it Meowth.
That's awesome, man. You guys, thank you for joining us today, man. We are, believe it or not, a pro wrestling podcast, as sloppy as it might be in this intro. But you can always find us on Stitcher Radio, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play Music, and iTunes. We, of course, are over on YouTube, too, currently airing live. Thank you for joining us if you are watching along, man. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Help us get to 100 subscribers. We'll get them custom URL, hopefully one day, But, man, yeah, thank you for all coming in. We're going to be covering today's episode is Monday Night Raw, airing from Manchester. Rob, did you read any of the spoilers?
No, I did not.
Nice.
I accidentally read SmackDown spoilers, and I hated myself for accidentally doing it. So, no, I hate spoilers. I hate spoilers so much that, if I missed, I didn't get to watch Full Gear because I was broke. I didn't have the $50. And I don't like illegal packets happening in my house, so I did not stream it. Because
Good job,
I knew the outcome. I couldn't sit. If somebody were to hand me a DVD right now, I couldn't watch it. I know the outcome. I don't like spoilers. I don't like them at all. It ruins it for me 100%. So, no, I did not like any spoilers at all.
Oh, man. Well, that's good. That's good. I think I inadvertently saw one spoiler, but I didn't realize it was a spoiler when I read it. I thought it was a fan theory of what was going to happen, and it turned out it was a spoiler. And it was for the opening match anyway. So once that was out of the way, I didn't know what was coming for the rest of the evening. I did know that the Lana and Rusev segment was going to bomb heavy, but then again, you know what? That's going to bomb any week anyways. You guys, man, we're going to talk about wrestling for the next 45 minutes or so. If you guys ever want to talk about wrestling with us, hit us up in Twitter at SmackDrawPod, myself at The Kai Tai Show, and then, of course, Rob over there at 2 words, Can't See Me. That's C, the letter C. And if you happen to be watching YouTube live, you can go ahead, dive into those comments. I'll be right here trying to reply live with you. So, yeah, that's it, man. Y'all want to talk to us? Hit us up. But, yeah, Rob, Monday Night Raw, in a nutshell, full 3-hour package. What's your thoughts on the show?
I enjoyed it. I
Yeah?
didn't enjoy it as much as the NXT TakeOver SmackDown, which, I honestly compared that in my head at the end of the show. But I enjoyed it. I didn't. There wasn't really anything dull except for one segment, which we'll talk about later.
We all know what segment that is.
Monday Night Football was luckily on a commercial, so I flipped back to Raw. Otherwise, I would have seriously not watched the segment. But
Yeah,
it
man.
is what it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you take the good with the bad. I'm glad to hear on your end, though, that stinker of a segment didn't let the overall grade of the show bring you down. For me, there was some stuff that was, kind of hard to get into, but then there was plenty of other stuff that kept me intrigued. I do have a feeling, though, that these the shows that take place in the UK, for the most part, now granted there are some exceptions, but for the most part don't progress much story. Now granted, before you guys jump on me, I am aware AJ Styles won his the WWE Championship overseas. That was actually the only time the main title ever changed hands in Europe. And then there's a couple other things over on SmackDown. We had the tag titles change hands, so there are surprises to be had. But they do.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that because, like, I was gonna say there was like zero story progression tonight, but at the same time, I don't pay attention to story progression. Like, you can throw me random matches with zero story, and like I'm okay with it. Like my buddy Wally makes fun of me because of it. But like I was gonna say there was zero story progression, but I didn't want you to be like, man, there was so much story progression. How'd you miss it? So I just didn't say it.
No, yeah, they typically have this filler feeling. You know what I mean? Nothing too impactful typically takes place.
Right.
Especially when you're having a pre-taped episode where you have obviously leaks ruining the show for you. You don't want some of your more major angles of the year taking place. But that doesn't mean, you guys, that we had a bad show. So let's go ahead and get into it. We kicked off tonight with the Women's Tag Team Championship match between the Kabuki Warriors and Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Apparently they said, what did they say? Natalya had family issues that she had to attend to. So Becky...
Yeah, I missed that.
I believe that's what they said.
Show, or was that like...
No, they announced it. They announced it on the broadcast that she had some, I believe, family-related issues that she had to attend to. Becky Lynch was stepping in for her, so the narrative became Becky Lynch might become Becky Two Belts again. You know, which was interesting. Becky came out, did a thing on the mic, talked about how the competition is rising.
She was talking about. Yes, exactly. And, like, the only thing I can think was competition. Come take her title away from her. Guys, I'm so sick of seeing Becky Lynch. Like, nothing against her at all. Nothing at all. I'm ready for something new, man.
So,
it's the same thing.
All right, Rob, I'll put you on the spot. You're in the minority.
But I will say it again. Becky Lynch is the reason that I am back into wrestling again. I bring it up in January. Becky Lynch won the Women's Royal Rumble, and that's the moment I said, "Oh my God, I'm back into this."
You're back.
But now, like, I am in the minority. I will say that, and again, I will say that she has done nothing wrong. She's not stale. She's not boring. I'm just ready for something new.
It's your
man.
taste. It's you.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. I'll put you on the spot, man. Since you are, I mean, granted, Becky's gonna have her detractors, but who would you like to see take the belt off of her?
Honestly, right now, either a Sasha Banks or a Bayley. Like
Sasha. Well, Bayley's already got a title. You talking about Bayley getting two belts?
So I'm talking about Bayley two belts.
Bayley two belts. Okay.
But it would most likely be Sasha Banks.
Sasha. Okay.
I mean, Sasha Banks is on SmackDown, right? Like, I honestly don't pay attention.
So
to
that ain't.
Earlier, I told you guys I don't pay attention to story. I don't pay attention to that stuff, guys. Like, that's how I'm happy with the product. Anyway, I'd be down with a Bayley two belts, but it'd most likely be Sasha if it were to happen. And they'd have Sasha Banks and Bayley, best friends in the whole wide world, and they got the titles and you don't. That's what I would pull off of it.
Okay.
That'd be my choice. But honestly, like anybody right now. Or, like a Lacey Evans. I love my Lacey Evans. I'd love to see her
Still, SmackDown stars you're going after here.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't even know who's on Raw. Is Natalya on Raw? Let Natalya take it. Let's go.
Natalya's on Raw, yes. Okay, there you go. Your first Raw one. By default, the first Raw superstar you named was Natalya, so she gets the belt.
Okay, she can do it. Let's go. Next pay-per-view after Survivor Series.
Oh, man. Hey, listen now. The tag match was good. It was serviceable. It seemed like Becky and Charlotte were trying to outdo each other in the match. They didn't need each other. They felt like they could power through the match themselves. Ultimately, early on, we had Shayna Baszler appeared at ringside again. She's working overtime, man. She's showing up at all the shows. But Baszler showed up ringside to watch the events unfold. Eventually, she did cause a distraction, which allowed Asuka to roll up Becky Lynch for the win. Afterwards, Baszler and Becky brawl.
I want to stop you right there because I got two things to say at this moment. One, just before it happened, I noticed about 8 rows behind the floor seats, there was a guy wearing a Shawn Michaels shirt. I noticed, and it was fucking that guy.
Jesus Christ, Rob.
Yes, that guy. But this roll-up bugged the hell out of me.
Really?
Okay, like I was just saying, I want to see Becky Lynch lose her belt. You know why? Because I'm ready for something new. Becky Lynch, she's a beast. Yes, she is. She's done her thing. I'll give her all the respect in the world. She deserves everything she has gotten. But I'm ready for something new. They've turned her into a beast. but she got pinned by a roll-up. A roll-up. This beast.
A distracted roll-up, man.
But
Any
it's
great
still a
can
roll-up.
fall.
I don't care. If
The
you're
Rock
that much of a
Rock
beast-
got pinned by Hurricane Helms, you know, due to a
But The
distracted
Rock's-
roll-up.
Okay, I was gonna say The Rock's overrated, being the kayfabe me I am, but I can't
Oh
say all
my
that.
god!
But no, have her, have her get hit by the mist. There you go. She's distracted, and then she gets
That is
hit by the
true.
mist.
She didn't get
and
hit
she
by the
can't
mist.
see, and then she gets pinned. Okay, there you go. Cool. But she got rolled up, man. Your champ that has beaten everybody in the world got rolled up.
She did get rolled up
got
pretty
rolled up.
easily. Pretty easily.
That's exactly what it is. Don't let her get. Come on, man. Like, she's this beast, but now she's a roll up. You know, that's it. Anybody could have done it. Took her belt.
Oh
That's my
man!
bad.
Hey.
Maybe I'm looking too far into it.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Bailey made her appearance, attacking Baszler as well. Bailey's not paying any favorites, though. She attacked her fellow horsewoman, Becky Lynch, after the match as well. So Bailey's standing tall, saying, hey, guys, I know you two have your hot feud, but don't leave me out of this triple threat match. So that's pretty cool. We followed this up backstage. We get Ricochet. He's chatting with Randy Orton. Apparently just trying to like hash things out, I guess. That's pretty neat. You never see wrestlers who are like heel and face kind of talking out their issues. But it seemed like that's kind of what we got. OC being the bullies in the locker room, trying to kick out Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet, kind of bullying him. I'm using the word kind of very loosely. They were flat out bullying him. They challenge him to a 3-on-3 match, and they say, you guys aren't going to find a partner. And Randy Orton was standing there the whole time. He interjects himself.
I thought it was so. I already don't like AJ Styles. Again,
Really?
here I am in the minority. If you're a new listener, you'll see I'm in the minority of things. I like
You
seeing that
really
way.
are.
All the respect in the world to him, he just doesn't do it for me. And this is part of the reason why you're sitting here bullying the guy. You're never gonna find a partner, bro. He was just standing right next to Randy Orton. You're not gonna tell me that Randy Orton's not about to be like, I'll be your
After
partner.
he insulted
Like,
the Viper, too. He insulted him like he wasn't standing there, you know?
right, dude. Like, this is not of they just flashed out of midair and all of a sudden they're on camera. They just showed him and then went away. And like he's not there. Like,
Yeah, I know. I love the whole out of frame, you don't exist. Anyways, Randy Orton interjects himself, says they're not gonna have to look long for a partner. I'm here. At this point, I realized that Randy
I was
Orton
here
is
the whole time.
Randy Orton is a huge human being. By the way, he stands almost
really
eye to eye with Luke Gallows, and I'm like, I never realized he was actually that big. He's a big fella, though. So, yeah, that sets up our main event. We're going to have Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, and Randy Orton taking on the OC in tonight's main event taking place in Manchester. Afterwards, we get... poor Sin Cara is back on the jobber side of things, taking on Drew McIntyre. The second I saw these guys lined up with each other, I was like, oh, poor fella. Poor fella, back to his old ways, which, if you were reading the Twitter news today, comes to no surprise. Sin Cara was asking for his release from the company. I definitely see why. They gave him all of 3 weeks of a little bit of shine before they just pushed him aside again. Now, I don't know if it was too quick. I mean, they did give him 3 weeks of a good feud with Andrade and Zelina Vega, although he did come out on the losing end all 3 weeks. Carolina or Catalina, whatever they're going by, was nowhere to be found tonight. So yeah, poor Sin Cara was left to his lonesome after having almost a month worth of build. It's that whole hot cold thing WWE does with their superstars. They give them a little bit of shine, like they might do something, and then they just pull back. Anyways,
maybe they go off a t-shirt sale. Did he not sell enough t-shirts?
Man, you gotta give him time. You gotta give him time, Rob. You gotta give him time.
It'd be. I'd buy one eventually.
Eventually.
After the new Corbin shirt.
You have to let me know if Shorty G has a shirt yet, man. I'll send it to you.
I've been checking. I'm not gonna lie. I've been checking. Still no search results.
Nothing yet.
Just put the basketball jersey up there. I'd be about it.
Now, at one point during this match, the popular Twitter gif is Sin Cara went for a Hurricanrana to Drew
And he got
McIntyre on the outside,
powerbombed.
and he got powerbombed to
Oh.
hell, man, on that mat. Oh boy, no wonder you're asking for your release, man. I wouldn't want to go back to work after punishment like that.
Right.
Drew does make short work of Sin Cara with the Claymore kick. I hurt for our fellow co-host Vince out there, man. I know he was getting hyped seeing what they were doing with Sin Cara. Looks
A
like,
man with no face.
jeez Louise. Yeah, it looks like they're not doing much. Speaking of face, though, odd segue, weird segue, totally makes sense for this segue. This Rowan promo. What the hell is
Baby
going on?
talking, whatever
Yeah.
the thing was at the time that we found out kinda what he was baby talking, but at the time we had no idea.
What the hell?
What?
Yeah, so it's through like a burlap sack is what we have. The camera angle's pointing right at his face. Almost like, if you were kind of had a sack put over your face and then you have a guy interrogating you. Except the guy interrogating you is talking to you like a baby. I don't know, man. Nothing was really said other than he's going to show the world his friend or something very soon. It really was only about a 20-second promo, but instantly I popped though. I'm like, "Oh, hey, they're going to still do something with Rowan." So, we'll see where that's going. We'll talk more on it later because Rowan does make an appearance later in the show. Following this up, moving right along today. We got Truth taking on the Singh brothers for the 24/7 championship. How many of you forgot the 24/7 championship was a thing since the brand split?
I don't like the fact that they scheduled a match for it.
Yeah. What's the point of scheduling the match if you just run out?
Yes. Don't schedule the match. Just have like the Singh brothers just running out from R-Truth to the ring, and then just have them battle in the ring. Don't schedule it. Just make it look like they randomly ran out there. There you go. Your 24/7 rules in effect.
Well, see, here's the thing that made it weird is apparently with the 2-on-1 stipulation that they assigned to the match, Truth could have pinned either of them. When does that stipulation end? They never said the match stopped. The Sang brothers and Truth go at it for a bit. They end up doing their Benny Hill segment running around the ring, and then they make their way backstage. But in the ring, it was a 2-on-1. Truth could have pinned either to become champ. They leave the ring. The match doesn't stop, and they make a point to say that the match didn't stop. At this point, are both Singh brothers co-champs? Pin either one, get the belt?
It sounds like it. They're gonna definitely do something with that. Knowing WWE, they're
Yeah,
definitely
man.
gonna do something with that.
Hopefully. I want to see him do something with it, man. Yeah, Singh brothers end up, after Truth starts to get a little bit of leeway going in this match, they grab their Bollywood trophy or award, their Bollywood award and the belt. They make their way backstage. They run through the women's locker room. You hear all the women screaming. Truth is a gentleman. He doesn't go in there. They make their way into another locker room. Lights are turned off. They struggle with the lights. Lights come back on. You've stumbled into Eric Rowan's locker room. Why you didn't turn around and run immediately? I don't know. Maybe you got the deer in the headlights, frozen with fear. Fight or flight ain't kicking in for you. Either way, you made the wrong choice staying in there because Rowan destroyed these fellas. He pulled out the PS2 WWF SmackDown where you can hit an opponent with a couch. He picked up a couch. I remember that from that game.
Why don't they give my man a bigger couch? That's Eric Rowan. He'll eat that couch.
He did. Slapped him around with a couch. Why didn't he pin him? Rowan, I've been calling for a monster 24/7 champion. That would be awesome.
Who's gonna pin this guy?
Exactly.
Who's gonna pin him? Who's gonna go near him?
Which tiny mid-card loser locker room is gonna go after Eric Rowan or Brock Lesnar when they have the 24/7 champion? They're gonna retire the belt on him.
Ooh, but maybe, because what happened was after they got beat up. Truth came in the room and was kind of like, "Oh shit, y'all need some privacy." He cut the lights off and he left the room. Maybe we'll see on social media that after he did that, Rowan did pin him.
Oh, I could dream, but I don't think that's what happened.
I highly doubt it,
Yeah.
but you never know.
I
Drew's
could
face
dream.
was, y'all need some privacy.
I love that long look. He just looked down at him, looked up at Rowan. Yeah, he made the right call, man. He made the right call. Um, Following that, your boy Seth Rollins comes out to the ring. Oh man, Seth Rollins is out here to address the NXT takeover of SmackDown and Raw as of late. Um, Comes out, proclaims Triple H said that he knew what was next for me. He was going to light a fire in me. And you know what? He was right. He did light a fire in me. Seth's ready to take on the world. He issues an open challenge to any of the NXT guys, any of UK Manchester's boys, not just WWE. He wants to see what's the best that the UK has to offer, man. And they answered the call, man. We get Imperium. Now, I'll ask you, Rob. How familiar are you with Imperium?
I have absolutely no idea who these guys were. Absolutely none whatsoever. If they would have came out and you would have been like, I'll give you $1 million to name one of these guys right now, I would have not won $1 million.
Okay, so I'll bear with you. I'll meet you in the middle. The fellas on the right side of Walter, I'm not as familiar with them. They are NXT UK fellas. That's the one brand I haven't been watching. My apologies. I know Alexander Wolf is in the stable. He's a former member of Sanity. He liked to headbang by himself, which I always thought was pretty badass and charming. But Walter, the current NXT UK champion, Rob, you need to pay this guy respect. He's got a knife edge chop that sounds like a nuclear bomb that goes off. Like this dude's chop is like if you were
I've seen him on Twitter then. I know
yeah,
exactly what you're
yeah.
talking about.
If you were to play a video game where you could playing an RPG and you could take a guy's stats and build him how you want, they've just completely overhauled his knife edge chop stat. It's maxed out plus bonus, It's oh my god, it's such a charm, man. Sounds like a blast every time it goes off. But anyways, yeah, so Walter is going to open Seth Rollins' open challenge. So you've got the current NXT UK champion taking on former Universal, former WWE, and former NXT champion. We learned today Seth Rollins is the only man to hold all three of those titles. In what was a very serviceable match, Walter definitely Brock Lesnar-esque. Got the suplex going. Very, very.
Suplex was vicious.
I know, man. He's
That
got
was
some
good
Germans. I'd like to see Walter and Lesnar go at it. I really would.
I'd be about it.
What do you guys
I
think?
didn't care for this Walter guy, but that's just me. But I would love to see him fight Lesnar. In ring, he was good, but character-wise, it's not for me.
You guys in the chat over here lurking on the show. Would you like to see Walter take on Lesnar, or if not, who is Walter's dream opponent for you guys? Let us know in the chat. But yeah, I'd love to see it. I as long as Lesnar doesn't toss Walter around and emasculate him, if he was seen as somewhat as an equal, I think that would be a devastating match. I'd love that. I'd love to see Lesnar against anyone that's an equal, and actually have a match.
Vince, hey Brock, you want to fight Walter? $15 million in a squash. Done.
Jesus, no. Can't do that. What you need is you need Lesnar all cocky and everything until he gets one of those knife edge chops, and then you see the life sucked out of his chest, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh crap, who am I in the ring with? That moment, just that sudden realization, man. Over here we got SES Vince in the chat says he wants to see Walter versus Rob. There we go. That's what I'm talking
good,
about.
Bro. I'm good.
Rob, no
bird
one.
chest, man.
You got the bird chest. Oh my god.
I work out and all, but it's hard to work your chest out, man.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, they caved my junk in. Anyways, as Seth gets the upper hand, Imperium ain't gonna let their boy hang like that. They jump on Seth. Out come Street Profits and Kevin Owens to, even the playing field. They cut to commercial very quick, so we know where this is going. We're getting a 4-on-4 tag team match. It was all right. We got a lot of guys time to shine in this. I think we saw Kevin Owens. He got a stunner in there. Montez Ford. For one, I didn't realize that the commentary table was back ringside. It wasn't on top of the ramp like it normally is. Montez Ford hit a dive over the top rope and landed on the damn commentary table. If you've ever wondered if a dude had,
through it.
dude, if you ever think if a man has too much hops, that's Montez Ford. He's got too much hops. Okay.
Yes. Like I've seen, like when he leaped, I'm like, oh god, he's not supposed to go that far, and I thought he was going through the table.
Dude,
like,
I did too. I really did, man. That was nasty, yo. Like you needed to watch that as a gift because that's just impressive. Like visually, it wasn't like the craziest thing, but just to realize that dude cleared the rope with ease and then landed on the damn commentary table. You normally have to jump off the top rope to do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's nuts, dude. But yeah, no, these guys had a heck of a good match. Once again, just nothing too crazy throughout the night, but decent stuff. Ultimately, it ended up with Kevin Owens nailed a stunner to clear out the room.
He nailed a stunner, and then Seth ended up hitting the freaking curb stomp. I did make a realization today.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about Kevin Owens using the stunner. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but, like, the stunner is a stunner. Like, my favorite finisher of all time is Sweet Chin Music, but that's because HBK is my boo. Like, I love HBK. I love everything about him. But the stunner is the stunner. And, like, there's a certain feel to the Stone Cold Stunner, and I realized tonight, in my opinion, Kevin Owens doesn't have it. It wasn't there. I was like, there's a stunner, but that wasn't a stunner. That wasn't... Like, he danced. I'm like, no, you get in their face, you flip them off, you drink beers, you throw beers at them, and he just didn't have it.
I know what it is too. Kevin, he doesn't have the same angle that Stone Cold would hit it with. It's hard to describe. Like it's hard to articulate. With Stone Cold would kick that gut, and he would both jump and turn and have a little bit of hang time before he drove that stunner down. And Kevin Owens hits it almost with a little bit of a dance move. He hits the kick, he kind of pivots, and then pulls straight down, and it doesn't have like the same... It looks like it hits all right, but it doesn't visually look the same as Stone Cold, which I guess could be unfair, but I mean, if it's referred to as the Stone Cold Stunner, you gotta hit it like Stone Cold. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and he doesn't have it. It's not there. That oomph.
I do like it's getting used, though, and I do like the Stunner's finishing matches. I mean, at the end of the day, if you ask me, like, hey, do you want the Stone Cold Stunner not done by Stone Cold, but it's still beating guys, or do you not want to see that move again? I'm still going to elect to have, like, the Miller Lite version of the Stone Cold Stunner. I'm still going to want it on my programming. You know what I mean? Right. So, sure. But I get where you're coming from. Completely agree with you. Because I've always said it too. I was like, it doesn't look quite the same. I kind of wish he would mimic Stone Cold a little bit without diving too much into his character. But yeah, it still looks all right. It looks okay. What's not looking okay is Cedric Alexander's career in WWE. Oh my God, dude! This guy, he comes out, man, and I can't help but feel like he's just got this jobber feel. Like this dude can't get a meaningful win to save his life. Like, if he does get a win, it's not pushing him forward. It's not really doing nothing, man.
When they did that janitor thing, we all thought maybe, hey, this is it. Like,
yeah, Gary Garbrandt, the GOAT.
I had no idea who the guy was before that. I really didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed they brought him in. Wow, they're gonna let him win matches. No, never mind.
It's just one of those hot cold things, man. It's just one of those hot cold. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. Andrade proves to be one of the most consistent wrestlers in this business. I cannot wait for Andrade to get gold. I love his pairing. I know you're not high on Selena Vega, but you know he's got a heel man.
She's going on me a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, I don't.
She proves for worthy distractions. She's got hella Karanas. She's got personality.
She plays her job
exactly. She plays her job to a T. which came into play tonight. Cedric was proving a worthy opponent, but ultimately succumbed to being distracted by Zelina Vega, allowed Andrade to hit the hammerlock DDT. Bam, Andrade goes forward. He's now got 4+ wins in a row. If not even well more, just for like this month, he's undefeated all month long. And unfortunately, Cedric still directionless. And I know Cedric's got a huge fan base. Now, I don't think that you watched the Cruiserweight Classic, Rob, but Cedric got offered a damn contract on the ramp. He came in on this he came into this Cruiserweight tournament, put on a hell of a match, and then the crowd, as he lost, were chanting like for Triple H to sign him.
Sign him or something like that? Yes. Okay, I heard about that.
Yeah, and Triple H came out on the ramp.
You told me about that during the janitor thing.
Exactly. Yeah. He came out and Triple H was like, "You guys got nothing to worry about. Come here, kid." And essentially offered him a contract right there on the spot. You know, it's just unfortunate they haven't had anything for him since then. It feels like what Buddy Murphy and Ali are getting the push. That was kind of what Cedric was meant for. And he's just like one too many bodies. Now he's getting the short end of the stick. Just my take on it. If you guys got something different, let me know, man. But my take is just there's other people taking the spot that Cedric should have had. But unfortunately, sometimes, there's only so many plates of food and only so many people get to eat, and that's just the way it is. But no hate on Cedric, though. He's a hell of a worker. I do wish he had better stuff for him. Oh, man. Someone else who needs better stuff is Aleister Black. What's going on here, man? What's going on with Aleister? Like,
he'd be on top of the world if he would have had the feed knock on his door. That out there.
Yeah, man. He's back there. He's got this new little thing. He says he's had a prophecy. He says he knows who the guy that's gonna fight him is. He's like, "I know who you are. I know what you have done. So knock on my door and pick a fight with me."
We are 5 months away from WrestleMania.
Jesus.
4 or 5 months.
Hey, man.
And like when you and I were bringing up, it's the feet knocking on Aleister Black's door. It's like, no, that's WrestleMania. They're on two different brands, but
yeah, I've seen some fantasy booking lately. People are saying, because people are already talking about who takes the belt from the Fiend, and apparently Aleister Black is the popular one here.
It would work. It'd be absolutely amazing. Like,
they're on different brands, though. They're on different brands, though. That's the hardest part, man. They're on different brands.
But aren't they like I'm still new to new listeners. I'm still new to this whole brand split stuff. Because when I got back, the wild card rule was a thing. We haven't had a brand split until the draft happened, and it actually happened. Aren't pay-per-views dual? Aren't they? Isn't that a thing too?
Well, it depends. Typically, the big four will be cross-brand, but most of the time, the pay-per-views never put belts on between wrestlers on opposite brands, and then sort it out like that. So what they do to alleviate that is periodically throughout the year they'll do mini drafts, and they'll the superstar shake up or whatever.
What they could do though is, because you got two guys right now that are huge on promos.
Yeah.
Promo each other until WrestleMania. They don't even look at each other. In the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt's like, Aleister Black's a little bitch. Aleister Black gets in the back and he's like, Bray Wyatt, you want to knock on my door, bro? Come knock on my door.
I love that you and I are trying to will this thing to life. We really want this to be a thing, man.
It's been there since you wrote Bray Wyatt's going to be the Fiend. It's been there.
I know, man. The Firefly Funhouse stage should be in the door. The door that's in the Firefly Funhouse stage should connect to the door in Aleister Black's room.
Aleister Black's door. Bray Wyatt, he doesn't even got to turn around. Just knock next to your head. There you go. You knocked on his door. Let's do this.
Yeah. We have the J Campos 92 says maybe an NXT guy challenges for the Survivor Series. If you elaborate a little bit, I'm not sure. Maybe that came in a little delayed. Let me know what you mean by that. But yeah, We've been trying to get this thing. Me and Rob, we've been pushing this. I'm telling you, you and I, we'll have a celebration video of just you and me if Aleister Black even sniffs Bray Wyatt in a promo one of these days. Right. I'm telling you, man. But all right. So Rob, let's get to this. Let's try not to cuss. Let's try not to walk away.
I'll be cool.
All right, just Rob, just be cool.
The next segment, I changed the channel.
Just be cool, Rob. All right, let's just be cool.
I'll be cool. I'm good. I'll be cool. Don't worry. I know I'm a big fan of the word respect.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I will also say that I thought this was the most cringe.
Yeah, this is a poo-poo. This is a poo-poo segment here, man. Oh man, I've been. You know what's funny is because
listeners, I texted the Smack Raw podcast chat and I said, "Let me know when this segment's over, guys." I changed the channel. I really did. If Monday Night Football wasn't on a commercial, I wouldn't have came back until they told me that it was over.
So speaking on the previous segment, the J Campos 92 says maybe an NXT person knocks on Aleister's door. Okay. All right, Campos, man, I'm interested in to see who you think that should be, man. Let us know. Know.
Makes sense.
NXT,
yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah. NXT's be pretty cool. But
yeah. What's going on?
Going on to Lana and Rusev here.
Isn't Aleister like fresh out of NXT? Not fresh out of NXT, but like.
But yeah, NXT alumni, former champ, all that stuff. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. So okay, man. So let's. I guess let's not do the play-by-play. Who cares? I'm not going to do the play-by-play because it's cringy. We all know what's going on here. So this is okay. So I was trying to just let myself be entertained by Lana. I knew this junk was coming. I knew Manchester was going to poo on her during this segment, but I was like, you know what? Let's see where the story goes. All they wanted to drive home is that Lana had sex. Lana had sex 7 weeks ago. She had sex, 7 weeks, sex.
You said the word like 30 times.
Oh, my God. Like 30 times. Just in case you didn't hear it the first 14 times.
That wasn't even what got me. What got me is when the crowd was saying, your product is bad right now, and we don't like it. And she got louder to shut him up.
Yeah.
We don't like your product right now. We don't like what we're seeing in our... Shut up. You had sex last week? Cool.
Oh, man. We can't blame Lana. We just got to blame the story writers.
You did what? You had sex last week? Oh, and then you had sex last week.
I know.
You had sex again? Oh, come on, man.
My wife looked at me, and I was like, hey, look, man. At least it's not the Katie Vick angle, okay? Like, just...
The Katie Vick angle was just stupid. This is cringe.
They were both cringe, Rob. Trust me. But
okay.
But anyways, no. So there was like, you know what sucks about this is because they show glimpses in these terrible segments with Lana, Rusev, and Lashley that get the crowd behind them, and it's Rusev. Rusev comes out, he plays the relatable person here. He plays it straight. Lana's over the top, cringy because it's just unbelievable character. Same thing with Lashley. Although I'm going to hand it to Lashley, he looks like he's having a blast. Okay, like the dude looks like, as bad as all of this is, Lashley looks like he's still having a fun time. Rusev is the character you want to cheer for, and when he comes out and he takes these ridiculous angles of like Rusev is a sex addict, and then he starts running down all the places like WrestleMania, the airport, your mom's house. Everyone's laughing and having a good time with Rusev because it's kind of relatable to how he's talking, but you only get that for like 10 or 20 seconds. Then it goes back to Lana being overpowering, cringy. And then, of course, Lashley comes out. They get the comeuppance on Rusev, which is the opposite. Rusev is going to have to get the comeuppance on them. I fear that by the time the angle pays off and Rusev is standing tall, too much damage has already been done. Hell, we're probably already at that point,
We are at that point. I don't know if we mentioned like that Lana said she was pregnant. I don't think.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. So that's why Lana. That's why Lana was mentioning sex so much, because 7 weeks ago was the first time her and Lashley did it. During one of the segments, Rusev and Lashley had a brawl that knocked Lana down. Lashley encouraged Lana to go to the doctors to get a checkup. It's revealed that Lana is pregnant with a little Machka baby from 9 weeks ago. So Lana's now vindictive that she's pregnant. And so Rusev comes out. He's like, "You're pregnant? That's cool. Let's work on this." Lashley beats him up. Lana and Lashley make out at the top of the ramp. Lana's like,
After
"I
she
can't
said she lied.
believe." Yeah, I can't believe he thought I was pregnant. So they backed out on their angle, and this was just
So you managed to take what we thought couldn't be cringier, and you made it cringier.
you're just outdoing yourself.
basically,
It's
everything you just said was not true.
it's like a challenge. Like,
This
hey, look.
segment doesn't end with Rusev shoving both of their faces in mud.
Yes.
I will never forgive that.
Oh my God, I know.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be with Lashley no more. Well, you won't be with nobody because you screwed up.
I feel like backstage are like, hey, you have 10 minutes to make this as terrible as possible. Go. And you know what? That was the highlight of the segment. And, at least it was only 10 minutes. They could have dragged this junk out 20 plus minutes. So, following that, we had.
And I hope it pays off. I really do because it's so bad.
Oh man, can it pay
if
off?
I could be in the head of Vince McMahon for 30 seconds, it would be his thoughts on this. Why is this happening?
Oh, I don't know, man.
so
Rumor
many
has
things
it might be Heyman. Heyman used to do this stuff in ECW. He always had the cringy sex angles.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I'm
as
a
great as.
Heyman guy. Don't
Well,
make
that's
me
the thing, though. Is as great as anybody is, it doesn't make them perfect. You know what I mean?
Right. Valid.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna have their flaws somewhere. So let's go on to here, man. Let's get on let's do some fantasy booking here, Rob. First of all, we had Rowan come out. He is taking on Sunner Durson, I believe his name is.
Yes.
Rowan comes out with what appears to be a cage wrapped in a burlesque sack. What's in the cage?
Well, why am I drawing a blank? The bird from the Firefly Funhouse. He stole his bird.
Mercy? He stole Mercy from the Fiend?
He stole
Oh,
his
shoot.
bird. Yes, that was my first thought.
Okay. I have a pretty.
I'm probably wrong, but
I have a more.
question, that's my answer.
Yeah, I have a more lame theory, but mine is the only one I could come up with. I think it's the sheep mask that Rowan used to wear back in the day. I feel like he's carrying around his old sheep mask, which
Yeah, it could be.
it's a downer though. It would suck, but it's the only thing I could think of because what would you reveal in that package that's so small? He doesn't have a feud going
Daniel
on.
Bryan's career-altering announcement.
Oh my God! Jesus. Once again, you find a way to not let that go. Oh man!
I'm never going to let it go either.
Anyways, yeah.
I tweeted earlier and I forgot.
Rowan comes out. He's got this cage in a burlesque sack. He slaps it down on commentary's table. He's like, keep an eye on this, but don't touch it. He goes in there. He makes quick work of Sunner Durson, which, hey, credit to Sunner, man. He threw a punch right at Rowan's face. Unfortunately, it looked like it hurt his hand more than it did Rowan. And
Yeah.
Rowan absolutely crushed the fella.
You tried, though, boo. You tried.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, man. A for effort, buddy. Better luck next time, though. Yeah. After which, Rowan, after he makes quick work of Sunner, he goes out. He grabs the bag again. Makes his way back up the ring. So now we have a couple questions with Rowan. It's like, for one, happy Rowan's on TV. I've learned that I've appreciated Rowan as a talker. I think you need to give that guy a lot more mic time because he's actually a very good promo guy, in my opinion. And B, now I just want to know what the hell's in that bag. As much as a wet fart as it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be a damn wet fart, but I'm ready to know.
I mentioned earlier that I can go without storytelling. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the good storytelling, but I can also go without it, and I'm still a happy camper, unlike most. But this one, what's in the cage?
What's in the cage?
Gotta know.
I gotta know, man. Rowan, let us know, man. Hop on Twitter, man. Hit us up.
If they just stop the cage and they don't give us an answer, it's going to be worse than Daniel Bryan's career-altering announcement.
Oh, my God.
What's in the cage?
What's in the cage?
You never know. This 1 week, they forgot it doesn't exist anymore.
I really hope Rowan does not come out next week and he doesn't have the cage. Oh, that would kill me. Anyways.
In the back, that's such good shit.
Oh my God! Coming up next, we have Viking Raiders in their first non-squash match in a long time. They're taking on former NXT UK Tag Team Champions Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Once again, guys, I do apologize. I'm not familiar with these fellas. They look like, if anybody in the chat is familiar with them, they strike me as the UK's Too Cool, like Scotty Too Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay. First impressions, that's kind of what I got from them. I imagine they're probably better wrestlers. UK's got a hell of a burgeoning wrestling scene, but their characters, let me know in the comments if you guys are aware, or hit us up on Twitter. Fill me in on exactly who Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews are. I only got so many hours in the day. Sorry, some wrestling shows get the axe. Unfortunately, NXT UK just gets the axe, man. I'm sorry. But they had a hell of a fight with the Raiders, man. They proved fast. They were outwitting the Raiders throughout the match. It was not a squash match. It was fairly quick, but they showed innovative and creative offense, getting the one-up on them. But at the end of the day, you got former tag champs taking on current tag champs on the current tag champs show. It only goes one way, man.
And the current tag champs are the Viking Raiders.
Yes, they are. They do not lose, my friend. Not until probably AOP come out. I think AOP is going to be the team, man. I think they are. But
so that's the foreign guys with the subtitles, right?
Yes, Rob, that's the foreign.
Okay, I'm so ready for that.
Jesus. Oh my gosh. Man. Yeah, Viking Raiders win with the Viking experience, which I think, oh God, don't crucify me. I think it was Mark Andrews that got hit with the Viking experience, got tossed up there real high, came down, man. That was it for him. And it was a good match, though. I mean, good match, serviceable match. Like I said, the matches here were kind of taking a back burn. They were serviceable, but we weren't getting anything pay-per-view quality, because like I said, it was taped, man. They're gonna ruin it for us, so you can't go too hard. But coming up after that, finally the match with the most storytelling internally out of the whole thing, we get
You can't skip the Lesnar video package we had. Just saying, there was a Brock Lesnar video package.
All right, go ahead, Rob. There was a Brock Lesnar.
I'm just saying. It just showed how badass Brock Lesnar is.
Yeah, we did get various promo packages hyping up Survivor Series matches, and one of them is Brock Lesnar taking on Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, which I don't.
WWE had a Twitter poll. Like, who do they think's winning that match? I was like, man, Brock Lesnar is like 90-10, right? And it was like 53-47%. Yeah, 47% of people picking Rey Mysterio to win that belt. 43% of Twitter must be on drugs, my friend. I'm telling you, right?
Gives it up to Dominic.
Jesus. What if Dominic turns on Ray?
Oh, low blow. Let's roll.
Oh, my God. Dominic turns on Ray in his match against Brock Lesnar. Oh, man. That'd be crazy. Dominic retires his dad.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sad. It'd be so sad. Ray goes out heartbroken. Dominic turns into a crazy heel. That'd be interesting. Be a hell of interesting. He strips his dad's mask, takes it for himself. Yeah. Yeah, man. So he doesn't wear the mask. He like mocks the mask week in and week out. Oh, the heat he would get. He would get so much heat. Come out there. Oh, man. He's like disrespect. He's got like food on the mask. Like he's used it as like a napkin for like the last week when he eats. Oh, my God. I could only imagine nuclear heat. And then he's probably a boring wrestler. To make it even worse, people would boo him the hell out of the buildings. Number one heel in the company, man, Dominic.
Yeah, heel heat and get off my TV heat.
Oh, my God, Dominic. Anyways. Damn it, I really want to see that now.
They'd bring back Sunday Night Heat, and he'd be.
He's the mascot. Oh man, let me timestamp that shit. I'm gonna soundbite the hell out of that. What is that? 48 minutes? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, the main event tonight was OC taking on the team of Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo, and Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Story of the match is, how's Randy going to coincide? Oh, I like it. Speaking on the Rey Mysterio, Campos over here in chat says he does the Andrade entrance and removes the mask every time he comes out. Okay. Like I said, though, I still want to see like food hanging off the damn mask. Like I want him to see like he's just been completely disrespecting the mask, man, the whole time. Just sitting in his gym bag, ain't getting washed. Anyways, the story of this man.
Heads are hanging out on top of his head.
Yeah, man. So Randy Orton, how's he going to coincide with this team? He's already been RKOing Ricochet, week in and week out, which was one of the more surprising things that he was going to team with him. So throughout the match, for one, I thought they were going to get smoked out the building during Ricochet's entrance. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Like all the smoke lingered over to the ring, and it was damn near like blinding. You couldn't. It looked cool as hell though, with all the lasers going off in the ring and everything. It looked awesome. And I was like, how the hell are they gonna wrestle in this? But it cleared up actually pretty quickly. But during the match, as Ricochet would be getting beat down, because Ricochet got isolated for a good portion of this match, you could see Randy Orton getting annoyed. Ricochet's getting beat up. Not like, just kind of like, really? I'm teaming with you? Like, I knew you would be like a letdown. It's kind of like what Randy Orton's conveying. AJ Styles, and OC, man, they're working him over. Carrillo gets in. Carrillo gets like a little like semi hot tag. He comes in. He's doing his thing, looking good. Ultimately is not enough. So Randy Orton, of all people, he gets the hot tag. Comes in. We get that classic SmackDown spot where all of a sudden everybody's hitting their finishers. Randy Orton gets knocked down, but Ricochet comes in. Hits his finisher, like Luke Gallows takes him out, and there's one after another. Everybody's taken out until it's only Ricochet laid out, AJ Styles laid out. Randy Orton's in the ring. He gets to his feet. Looks like he's had enough. He sets up Ricochet for the RKO, but last second turns around, hits AJ Styles, tags in Carrillo.
It made me so happy.
Yeah, tags in Carrillo, who hits his big moonsault. He gets the pin on AJ Styles, the United States champion. We get this semi-face turn Randy Orton. Or really, I think just Randy Orton's character is like, I don't care.
I'll be whatever I want to be.
And that's kind of what happened afterwards. You could see him and Ricochet exchanging words in probably the most character development Ricochet's had in a while, and maybe Randy Orton. And Randy's just telling Ricochet, kind of like, did you notice how Randy Orton kind of looked like the old guy with his team?
Yes.
Because Ricochet and Carrillo look so young, and not that Randy Orton looks old, but yeah.
He looks older than the youngins.
Yeah, exactly.
It was there.
But yeah, he was telling Ricochet, he was like, look, I do what I want, when I want, to whoever I want. He said, remember that. And they used that, commentary picked up on it like it was like veteran advice, Really, it was just, that was his excuse for why he wasn't going to RKO Ricochet. It's because he didn't want to tonight, maybe next week. But
wait till you're at dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm gonna spoil the hell out of your food.
You're like RKO'd in your spaghetti, boo.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, man, that was Raw. That was Raw in Manchester. Like I said, overall fairly good. You had that stinker angle with Lana and them, but luckily, like I said, it was only 10 minutes. 10 minutes out of 3 hours.